What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you had a wonderful weekend. Hope you had a great day. Listen, it's a lot of shit going on in the soap world right now. Just quite a few. It was a few major pieces of news that came out today. One of them being Mr. Ingo Rademacher, aka Jax. This man has decided to take it upon himself to file a lawsuit against Disney ABC for terminating him because of the COVID mandate, the vaccine mandate. Sir, I have to be honest, I feel like he's barking up the wrong tree. And with this lawsuit, any hope of him ever being reinstated to the show is probably forever lost. Um, at this point, they're probably thinking maybe in the future they might recast the role. I'm guessing because once you file a lawsuit against your former employer, chances of you ever going back are slim to pretty much none at this moment. He should have did what Steve did and bowed out gracefully. You know what I'm saying? Without all the venom and now the lawsuit, like you're taking it too far. At the end of the day, they had their rights to terminate him. He had his right not to get the vaccine. They had their right to terminate. Now you want to file this costly lawsuit. ABC Disney has the money to fight a lawsuit. They're worth over $90 billion. They can drag this lawsuit out for months, years. Ingo does not have the funds to go months and years on this lawsuit. It would cost him too much. The legal fees alone. You know what I'm saying? It would drown him. Um, it wouldn't be a problem. So I feel like he's barking up the wrong tree with this lawsuit. Honestly, I feel like there's no need for that. Anyway, moving on from that foolishness. Um, Courtney Hope. So apparently Courtney Hope and Chad Duell, who played Sally Spectra on Young and the Restless and Michael Corinthos on this show on GH, they're quietly getting a divorce apparently, or an annulment or whatever. They're breaking up, and I'm like, they just got married less than 2 months ago, and they were together for what, 4 or 5 years? I think 4 years they were dating, and now they're quietly breaking up. I'm like, what the hell is this? I hope that's a rumor. I really do. I hope it's a rumor, but from what I'm hearing, it's the real deal. Um, they're done. I That's insane to me. I was like, they just had this gothic themed wedding that looked fucking amazing, and now you're breaking up. I'm like, what? And mind you, this is not his first marriage. He got married almost 10 years ago to, I think, a girl named Taylor back in 2012, but they quickly got an annulment because they felt like they rushed into it. But I'm like, this wasn't a rushed marriage though, because him and Courtney were together 5 years. You know, they had ample time to get to know each other, you know what I mean? Like a long courtship. So it's crazy to find out that they're splitting up. And if that is the truth, I wish them the best of luck. Um, Hopefully they can work it out. Hopefully, because I seen the two of them together on social media and they look happy. Look like their relationship was working. So hopefully they can figure out a way to work that out and stay together. Hopefully. So anyway, getting into this episode of GH, Sonny need to learn how to be a better liar. Uh, because when he found out that Peter was poisoned in Pentonville, Anna wasn't buying that. Oh, I had nothing to do with it. Oh, I can't get people to him. She wasn't buying that bullshit. Anna was not buying it. I'm like, Sonny, do better, because your poker face was not good. Like, even Carly wasn't buying it, because Carly was like, I want to know what happened. Sonny had to tell her, because you know how she is. She ain't letting go of nothing when she thinks something's up. And it's so funny how Sonny told Carly, you know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. You deserve to know. She deserves to know. What about the other two secrets that you're keeping from her? She don't deserve to know those, but she deserves to know this. Sir, you still have not told her about your time in Nixon Falls with Miss Nina. Sir, you have not told her that you made a deal with Miss Wu, and the basis of that deal was you had to guarantee that, or pull some strings to help guarantee that Brad was going to get out of Pentonville on parole. You haven't told her these things, but you say that she deserves to know this truth. Sonny, Carly and Sonny are about to head for divorce number 5 at this point. 5, 6, 20, 20 billion. They about to go through it again, because after everything come out, I don't know how Carly gonna stay with him after all of this. I don't know. I really, it would take an act of Congress, the act of the good Lord above, to keep her married to him. Once all these shenanigans come out, I really don't know how he gonna weasel his little ass up out of this one. I don't know. Speaking of little, you know what I miss about Sonny though? That little short man temper that he got about him. You know, that short man syndrome, that tantrums that he used to throw. I'm gonna miss him throwing barware and getting mad. I'm kind of gonna miss that. I mean, I'm trying to get used to this new mellow Sonny, but I kind of miss him. You know, walking around throwing his little tantrums sometimes, because he got that little short man complex, and I miss that about him. But you know, Carly, see, and that struck me today. Like, Carly didn't give a damn about everything else Peter did in Port Charles. All she cared about was the fact that he was responsible for Jason's supposed death, and she felt like his ass needed to pay. I could get with that. I mean, I totally get where she's coming from, but I'm like, don't disregard everything else that man has done in Port Charles. Like, he done raised some hell, just like Curtis told Drew today. That man raised hell in Port Charles. That he did. And Carly sitting there telling Sonny, oh, people are going to be grateful that, you know, he got rid of Peter. Ma'am, madam, don't say that. Don't say people are going to be grateful. And the reason I say that is because they can't be grateful to Sonny personally, because they're not supposed to know that Sonny did this. If they find out Sonny did this and they're grateful to him, the legal system would not be grateful, because murder is murder, or attempted murder, and he gonna go down for that. So you don't want people to know this. I'm just saying. So that whole comment kind of threw me off. Oh, people are gonna be grateful. Yeah, but they shouldn't be grateful to him, because they can't know that it was him, or he had an association with it. I'm just saying. You don't want that information to leak out. Not unless you want to write Diane a big ass check for her services, because if that information gets out, you're gonna need the check. You know, you're gonna have to cut her that check. I'm just saying, you know, trials are costly nowadays. They are very costly. I'm pretty sure Diane's gonna love it. You know, her bank account is gonna be smiling, but y'all won't when it's all done. I'm just saying. So anyway, moving on from that, you know, I always enjoy Portia and Trina's conversations. I really do. I get a kick out of their, you know, conversations and their back and forth and stuff. Um, I love, you know, what Portia told her. Like, do not tie your self-esteem to somebody else. Don't do that. Nope, don't do it. Don't ever do that. And I agree. I feel bad that Trina feels that way. Like, she feels bad. She feels like she's a loser or a failure because she doesn't have a boyfriend. I wouldn't worry about relationships right now. She's doing great in school. She got friends. You know, you're still working at the art gallery. Her plate is full. You know what I'm saying? Like, does she even have time for a boyfriend between her studies, work, and friends? When do you have time for dating? My thing is, she's young, you know, very young. She's only 18. You know what I mean? Don't worry about dating. You know, if love and romance happen to come your way, that's different. You know what I'm saying? But don't go out looking for it. You know, and I hate that she's allowing Esme, of all people, to get into her head. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to make her feel like she's the fifth wheel, and oh, she's lonely and she ain't got nobody. She got people. She got her mama. She got her daddy. She got her friends. She got Ava. She got her job. She's far from lonely. And she should never let nobody, you know, put that in her head. Like, you need somebody to fulfill you. No, 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 no. You know, what you're doing, school fulfills you. Your friends fulfill you. Your family fulfill you. Life, you know, fulfills you. You don't need somebody to, you know, you don't need to put that on just one particular person. You know what I mean? You don't. Never do that. And I'm glad Portia told her that. You know, she's a smart girl. She's independent. You know what I mean? She needs to keep it that way. Be fierce. You know what I mean? Don't let some little idiot girl get all up in your head, because that's exactly what Esme's trying to do, and it's working so far. And Trina needs, you know, she needs to put that out her mind. You know, you don't need that. So of course she started getting into grown folk business. asking her mama about her and Curtis because she hasn't been seeing them together lately. And of course, Portia was trying to blame it on work and stuff, talking about, oh, we too busy. No, you're not. Don't get me wrong, running a nightclub and being a doctor and stuff, those are two busy things, two busy, careers and stuff like that. But yeah, I do get a day or two off now, you know. But of course, Marshall had to walk up and ruin it. I'm like, this dude need to go sit down somewhere. Stop walking up on people, you know. Like, stop it. Sitting here with his little sob story. Oh, Curtis wasn't feeling me or whatever. He don't want me around. And Portia tried to tell him to, take it slow, take your time. In my opinion, because Portia did mention that, Marshall being around makes her feel uncomfortable. And I took notice of that. You know what I'm saying? And I agree, when Curtis was talking to Drew in the episode, he was, looking up his father and stuff like that, trying to get whatever information, because it's running Curtis crazy. It's driving him crazy that he doesn't know what the hell his father's been up to all these years. And I think that's the biggest hurdle that's, in their relationship, or fixing their relationship. He wants to know, like, what the hell have you been up to? Why did you leave the family all these years? And for some reason, Marshall is not forthcoming with that information. So in my opinion, if I was Curtis, until he's more forthcoming about why he abandoned us and caused my mother all that heartache and pain, you ain't got nothing to say to me. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I would treat him. Like, until you tell me why you stayed away for so long, we ain't got nothing to talk about. You need to keep your distance. Like, that's what you need to do. I'm glad Aunt Stella back, because I can't wait to see Aunt Stella's confrontation with Marshall. I can't wait to see that, because the doctor gave her a clean bill of health and she was asking TJ about it. Like, Stella, she's impressed that TJ is so loyal to Curtis and stuff, because TJ wasn't trying to tell her nothing. And I agree with him. I feel like the whole Marshall situation should come from Curtis. Like, that's who she should find that out from. Um, you know, I did enjoy Curtis and Drew getting together and stuff. Enjoying their time together. It was good to see them reunite. Even though I'm used to Billy Miller and Donnell and stuff being together, it was good to see. I like the chemistry between them as friends. It's so funny how Drew is offering his services to people now. It's like, before, he was hell bent on finding Louise for Maxie, and now, he wants to help Curtis out with the whole Marshall situation, because, like I said, Curtis is, trying hard to find out what the hell happened to Marshall all those years ago, because he's obviously not forthcoming. So Drew, of course, wants to take a stab at it and see if he can find out, maybe he can call in somebody or some old SEAL connects that he may know, maybe they can find something. I really hope, because I understand Drew's trying to figure out his next phase in life, and I'm glad that he moved on from Sam and stuff. He still care about her, love her and stuff like that. But, he's happy that she's happy. I'm glad. Because I'd rather see him with somebody new anyway. But hopefully Drew doesn't even think about going back to the mob, because remember, Sonny did say that he needs to replace Jason, and Drew is sitting there talking about he needs to do something that honors Jason. Sir, don't go back into the mafia. Don't do it. Don't do it. You already damn near lost your life on a number of occasions. Don't do it. Next time you might not be so lucky. Go back to Aurora. Be co-CEO of that company. Listen, we don't need no more casualties of the Corinthos mob organization. We don't need that. Nope. Go back to the corporate world. Stay there. Run the company with Michael. Be a father to your daughter. Don't. I understand you feel grateful to Jason. I respect it. Find another way to honor him. Plant a tree in his name. Make a donation in his name. Something. You know what I'm saying? Create a foundation in his name. Something. Do not rejoin the Corinthos organization. Don't do it. Do not do it. You will die for sure. Don't do it. Nope, 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 nope. Mm-mm. No, sir. No, sir. So anyway, moving on from that. Um, Finally, we get a Liz scene. So now she knows about Jason. So I'm guessing she found out off screen. Now, I may not care for Elizabeth all that much, but like I said, I'm in a much better place with that character. Why the writers are disrespecting Liz like she ain't mean shit to Jason at some point? Because we all know Jason cared about Liz. Hell, they were engaged for a brief moment. Um, why they treating her like a little scrub? Like she had the right to know on screen about Jason just like everybody else did. You had randoms learning about Jason's demise. Like you had Jocelyn finding out about Jason's death on screen, but not Elizabeth when she had one of the most history with him. Like, come on now, she had a lot of history with that man. They shared a child, but Jocelyn gets to know on screen, but Liz don't. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. But and they definitely need to start showing more of Jake too, because Liz was, talking about the fact that because of Peter, um Jake not only has to grieve his stepfather, he has to grieve his biological father. I felt that when she said that. I felt bad, but I hate that we're not seeing, how Jake is processing this on screen, because I think we can get a lot of, good drama out of that. And I feel like they need to show that. Um, because I have a feeling between Danny and Jake, if not both of them, one of them is going into the mafia or doing something criminal when they get a little older. They're gonna start showing their ass soon. I think so. They're gonna start showing out. They are. They're gonna start being rebellious. They really are. Either one of them is gonna do it or both of them gonna do it. But it's gonna happen. You can't tell me a Jason Morgan kid is not gonna be enticed by that mob life. I got a feeling. I would be shocked if it didn't happen. I would be surprised. I would be totally surprised. But they gonna show out. They gonna show out. One of these days, it's gonna happen. Liz or Sam, one or both of them is gonna be in for a rude awakening when it come to them boys. I'm telling you, and it might just be Danny. It might be Danny. Sorry to say it, but I don't know. He got that look like he could be the next Jason Morgan. Like, you know what I mean? Like he got the look. But then again, Jake could do it too. You never know. But Liz was literally on one in this episode. Thank God, Finn was there to be the kind of voice of reason and to, be a shoulder for her to cry on and lean on or whatever. But I got a feeling like Liz is on the warpath when it comes to Peter. Like she wants him dead. Maxie definitely wants that man dead. Because Anna had to tell Maxie about Peter being in the ER and stuff because, what happened in Pentonville, what happened at the prison or whatever. Liz was up in there basically telling Finn, oh, tell me that he's dying. Elizabeth, I understand you're upset. I get that. But saying shit like that in public, shh. Anybody could have walked up in there. Anybody could have walked up in there and heard her say that. And now if something happened to that man, and somebody heard you saying that, you would be looked at. You would be investigated. I'm just saying, you might want to hush, hush. Somebody's calling my name. That was my song back in the day. Hush. Some of these characters gotta learn that when you're in public spaces or even in a room that ain't got no door, that just got a curtain, you might want to be quiet because somebody could be on the other end of that door or that curtain and they can hear you. So you might want to just shh. Maxie was literally saying the same thing when Finn was telling him about Peter's prognosis. Maxie said the same thing. She said, listen, let him die. Maxie was on one. She said, let his ass die. Because when she heard about him being in there, she thought back to the conversation that she had with Sonny. So she's pretty sure that this is Sonny's doing. And my thing again is, Maxie, stop saying that out loud. Like, let him die. Even though Anna agreed with her, She was like, yeah, he do need to go. But you don't need to be saying that out loud. You don't need to be saying that in no public areas. Like, just, because I'm telling you, Finn and Elizabeth are not even supposed to be in that room with Peter because they got history with him. But because the hospital is short staffed, they had no choice but to allow Elizabeth to be his nurse. They had no choice. And she all up in his room with a scalpel. I said, Finn, go up in there and get that out of her hands. Because I'm telling you, Liz will lose her shit and she will stab that man. And then y'all gonna have some explaining to the board to do and to the police. Better get her. She gotta think about her kids. I'm like, you gotta think about your children. You got 3 children that need you. Their fathers ain't around, so you the only hope that they got. So, ain't none of them got their daddies around. And I doubt even if you are in prison, I doubt Lucky gonna come back so to come get him. They probably gonna be like he in Africa still somewhere, wherever he is, Mumbai, Dubai, wherever the hell he at nowadays. So, Liz gotta think about her boys. But she was ready to stab his ass. I could see it in Elizabeth's eyes. She was ready to take him out. So Finn better get up in there and grab her. ASAP, expeditiously. Honestly, I felt super bad for Sasha and Brando. I felt bad for them. I was hoping that a miracle would have happened and Britt and Dr. Fleming would have came up in there and told her, and Brando that the baby was going to be okay. They didn't get no Christmas miracle this year. This got to be a hell of a Christmas for all them people in that town. So much death and craziness going on. I'm like, where's the holiday cheer? This would make me have to pack up and move to Landview for a few days. Like, hopefully they got things squared away in that town. Hopefully Clinton, Bo, and all them are doing fine over there. Because Lord knows Port Charles ain't it right about now. Like, people just dying and breaking up and no. There ain't no holiday cheer in this town this year. Ain't no jingle bell over there this motherfucking year. I felt bad though, because they just found out like their son has little to no brain activity. He's, brain damage. There's no miracle that can save that kid at this point. He's way too young to try and fight it or whatever, but at this point the only thing keeping him alive right now are machines. That's it. And Britt was, trying to hold back or whatever about some of the options because she knows that the options are not good. There is no real option that's going to save him. You know what I mean? There's no real option. And she just, was trying to be blunt with them. And Sasha and Brando just wasn't trying to hear it. Like, Sasha wanted the doctors to take some type of chance, maybe a surgery, something, but there's nothing that's going to help him. Nothing. And that's true. Once somebody goes brain dead, or there's no brain activity, there's nothing, it's nothing more the hospital can do. Your best option is either take him off the machines and let him die peacefully, or you can try, some type of long-term care facility. And if they do that, it's going to be costly. There's no way Sasha and Brando are going to be able to afford them bills. You know what I mean? Like, especially some fancy place, they're not going to be able to afford that. Now, unless they get some financial help, but at that point, it's still going to be a big waste of money. There's nothing that's going to save their son at this point. And I know that's hard for them to hear, but it was the truth. And, Britt was just being blunt with them. She said, listen, y'all got some other, choices that you need to make regarding your son, like other decisions. She was like, but you got to be realistic. And as blunt and as rude as it may seem, even Britt was pretty much like, angry at herself because she felt like she was too blunt with them about being realistic. And I'm glad Epiphany was there to comfort her and let her know, like, listen, you did what you were supposed to do. It wasn't harsh. It was honest. It was her being truthful. There's nothing more that can be done for her son. The whole staff tried. It's not from a lack of trying, but once a child or anybody go brain dead, it's like there's nothing more they can do. And I felt bad for them. And I think, honestly, with the death of their son, I think this might be the catalyst of Brando deciding to go work for Sonny. Because now that there's an opening in the organization, he might just switch up and be like, you know what, I'm going to do this. Because the whole reason he didn't join was because of his son. He didn't want to put his child in danger. But now that there's no more child, what's stopping him now from joining up with Sonny? Nothing stopping him. I felt bad for them, man. That was tough, and I felt bad for Britt because it's hard to even give that kind of news, to parents and stuff and let them know your child ain't coming home. Cause you see how hopeful they were when Britt and the other doctor walked in. They was like, so we can take our son home. And when she said no, they was like, what about tomorrow? What about the day after? They were so hopeful, but they knew deep down it wasn't looking good, and I felt bad because you could see the hope just going out their face, and I felt bad about that. I was like, damn, that was some badass news to get. But the actors and the actresses, they brought that. They brought their A game to that scene because that was a powerful scene. I couldn't imagine getting some news like that, especially around the holiday time. Christmas is what, next week, and you're getting news like this that your child just died. Listen, that your child ain't got no brain activity, I would be fucked up mentally. I would be ready to just drown my sorrows in a lot of booze or something because I wouldn't be able to handle that news. That's a blow. Um. So anyway, that's pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought about it, and I will see you all later. Have a great night. Peace.